嫁到中国就比较出息。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Kat Shannon, and this is my review of Wolf Warriors. As most of you know, I don't usually review mainland China films, because I don't often watch them. But I'd heard about Wolf Warriors, and it turned out to be playing in local cinemas, so I figured it was worth a look. The movie's directed by Wu Jing. He directed 2008's Legendary Assassin, but I watched Wolf Warriors anyway. The trailer for Wolf Warriors makes it clear that there was going to be a lot of action in the movie, and I wanted to see it. It's nice to see Ben Affleck's stunt double get work too. In addition to directing, Wu Jing also stars in the movie. He plays Lung Feng, a soldier sent to the brig for disobeying orders by acting independently to save his comrades. This occurs during a raid on a drug factory where Chinese law enforcement seems to follow the American policing strategy of arrest any survivors. While serving time, he's visited by the commander of an elite unit, played by Nan. She offers him a spot in the Wolf Warriors. The scene is funny for reasons that I'm not going to share, but it's funny in a good way. A lot of this movie is funny in good ways. Here's another example. A drug lord who wants revenge on Lung Feng for his actions during the raid is sprung from custody by a group of mercenaries led by Scott Adkins. The drug lord's reaction to what's going on around him was really entertaining. Wolf Warriors is not a great film, and it has its faults, but it's probably just as good or better than the last Universal Soldier movie, which Scott Adkins stars in. I can't say for sure whether or not it's better because I didn't watch the last Universal Soldier movie, and I'm not going to. But I think it's a fair and smart comparison. Wolf Warriors isn't Saving Private Ryan, but it's not really supposed to be, so it's not fair to compare them. I'd rather compare it to, direct-to-video B movies. And on that level, Wolf Warriors more than holds its own. It's very entertaining and a lot of fun to watch. There are things that don't make sense, and an entire scene full of bad CGI that should be left out for a lot of reasons. Is Wolf Warriors jingoistic? Of course it is. There's more than a little flag waving, both literal and figurative. But I didn't really care because that's a necessary part of the genre. And anybody who wants to find fault with some blatant pro-China messages in this movie ought to be locked in a room with Red Dawn or Rambo 3 playing on a loop until their head explodes. Yes, Wu Jing wears a patch that says, "I fight for China." Well, still better than fighting for Halliburton. Speaking of patches, if you look carefully, there's a hilarious nod to Team America World Police. It may have been intentional on Scott Adkins' part, or it may have been a case of wardrobe people not catching the reference. That's not their fault. I'd be pretty crap at choosing Chinese military patches for uniforms if I was doing the same job, so I'm not laughing at them. It's just another one of those funny little moments in Wolf Warriors that makes it worth watching. It was interesting to me to watch a movie structured around a genre that I'm very used to, but produced in a country that's not really known for making those kinds of movies. Obviously, China makes war movies, but they tend to be mainstream big budget things like Assembly, and are often made by or with the cooperation of August 1st Film Studios, the media production arm of the People's Liberation Army. Wolf Warriors did have help from the PLA, which means that we get to see current Chinese military hardware up close. But it's not a propaganda movie. Japan isn't mentioned even once. It also had some moral ambiguity that I was pleasantly surprised to see. The final battle between Wu Jing and Scott Adkins, you don't really think that's a spoiler, do you? Is impressive, not just for the action, but for a very interesting conversation in two mutually unintelligible languages. The NG reel that plays during the end credits is a lot of fun to watch because it shows that the people making the movie not only worked really hard, but also had some laughs while they were doing it. I enjoyed Wolf Warriors a lot more than I expected to. It's fun, it's entertaining, and I even feel like I got to know a little bit more about China and the PLA. I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie, and that's why I can recommend that you watch it. But, as is always the case, I want you to pay money for doing it. If you have a chance, go see it in the cinema. It was released in 3D in China and probably looks pretty interesting that way. I saw it in 2D, but at least it was still on a big screen where it could be nice and loud. If you don't get that opportunity, wait till it's available for rental or purchase. When it gets released to home video, I'll update the description with a link. But don't steal it. If you enjoyed this review, please let me know. If you didn't enjoy the review, let me know. If you enjoy the channel in general, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.